So what's going on, guys? Gonna let some people, more people get in here before we get started with the live. It's gonna probably go about 20 minutes because I gotta get to the damn pick up some groceries and stuff. I'll probably go live later on tonight. What's going on, Damon? What's going on, man? Bro, we gotta talk about this Ice Spice situation and what it says about society. And man, like, there's so many different problems going on in society right now, guys. It's just we gotta tear this whole thing down, bro. Like there's no other way to fix it but to turn the whole thing down. But people aren't fed up enough yet in order to get to that point to tear it down. Um, I've been talking about this for years, with teachers and people parenting their kids. And it's a very complex situation because sometimes, people have kids and they there's a complicated situation between the son and between the father and the mother, the father not wanting the child and the woman wanting the child, and so it breaks the family there. And then there's the people that are still together in their families, but they still raise these terrible children because the parents are lip-wristed and create these entitled children. And then there's the people that let the, which is the majority of people. This is most people that have kids. They let the internet, they let the social media age, they let the entire culture, popular culture, raise their children. And oftentimes, the popular culture is the culture you shouldn't be um, allowing your children to see and to mimic. It's not conducive to community, family, hardworking people, smart people. It's not conducive to any of those productive things that make a society really good and powerful. Um, which is why we're seeing a steep decline in the person. The average person is not good morally. Uh, a lot of our culture is rooted in deception and dishonesty. So a lot of these things are the reason why we see our society and the quality of person deteriorate in the society. It's quite sad how we've gotten here, but we're at a point of no return. And so this I Spy situation that you guys come in here, double tap the screen, hit the like button for me. If you guys want to support, please hit the super chat button for whatever's worth to you. I know you guys are struggling, but I know if you guys want to show you some support, please hit the like button at least. Um, Ice Spice, who is, these people in the music industry, these women in the music industry, they're the definition of sex, right? They have to dress provocatively for people to listen to their music, to uh, get views, to get attention. And so she does something that really shouldn't shock any of us. But she's been having a whole bunch of outrage and she's been going through a whole bunch of outrage from people online. And it's crazy because we've gotten so crazy in society, guys, that we go to typing on the keyboards and all this stuff, but we don't shame them in real life. Like there's a big difference between real life and the internet world. You can be hated in the internet world, but be loved in person. It's the craziest dynamic that that the technology is allowing to go on, and the technology is only going to advance. We're not going anywhere without this. I mean, you guys see my post this morning. We're having self-driving flying cars in China, which will eventually, distribute across the planet, in developing countries. So this just goes to show you guys that 304 culture, women being fast, promiscuous, there's nothing shameful about it to them. There's nothing stopping them. They don't care about being housewives and homemakers and being decent women. They just want control over their attention. They want to sleep with who they want to sleep with. They want to work a job. They want to have their complete freedom and disregard you in the end. They don't really care about you in the end. They might sperm jack you. They might do these kinds of things. They might, use you because you're a tool to them financially. But as far as like them letting their freedom go, they're not gonna let their freedom go, homie. Like they're fully comfortable being a 304, being an HOE. They're fully comfortable doing these things, and there's not really anything you can do about it. They don't care about you smashing them on the head and saying, well, you're going to hit the wall. Well, you're going to do this and that. Well, you're going to not get smashed. Well, you're going to be single and lonely. They don't care nothing about that, bro. I listen to these guys on the internet and they don't get it, bro. Like, women don't give a damn about what a man thinks today. They just don't. And so what we're seeing is the evidence of a matriarchy. We're seeing evidence of a matriarchy. Um, Women do whatever they want with no little consequences. What's going on, Mikey World? They do whatever they want with very little consequences. And there's not really, what can you do to check a woman? Like, think about it. What can you do as a man to check a woman, to keep her in line? What can you do? Not really much, right? She's not listening to your words, your leadership. I mean, the only guy that can really, I guess, quote unquote, tame a woman is a rich bachelor. Because, the rich bachelor is good looking, so he's attracted to the woman. He's good at intercourse because he has intercourse with lots of women. And then on top of that, he has the resources, he has the status. And so women can use him in a variety of ways. So he's truly the only guy that can possibly check a woman. But if the woman wants to stick the state on you or, sperm jack you or whatever, divorce you, you can't retaliate and do anything to really stop it. And so in a way, you're kind of like women are the slave master and they're whipping you as a man, right? It's funny because, when you look at Michael Irvin in the University of Miami, one of like these University of Miami super fans, every game that they win, he always on the sideline doing a belt to ass thing. And that's what women do, right? Divorce, belt to ass. Child support, belt to ass. Hurt your heart, belt to ass. Cheat on you, belt to ass. Bro, like you can't, homie. And then the unfortunate thing is the men, they're so disingenuous. They'll complain about these things, but they won't stand together to fix these things. And it won't happen because uh, men, different men have different traits that attract women. So they have to get access to the woman in different ways. And so some men, they can't get a woman unless they pay for it. But if you need all men to get women in line and to stand firm, um, it's not going to happen because that drive for intercourse is very powerful within a man, which is why you have to get the women online and or get the women in line to fix the men, because the men, they're going to go wherever their Johnson takes them, and it just is what it is. mating is what drives us as human beings. Human beings think that, it's the conscious mind. I'm working hard to better myself and I'm doing this and that for my own good. No, you're lying. You're doing this because you want an attractive woman. You're doing this because you want a tall, attractive man as a woman. You're putting your titties out there and your butt out there so you can attract a wealthy man, tall, masculine, whatever you desire. All of these things revolve around mating. Um, but the human being, of course, like every other animal, likes to be delusional and lie to not only himself but everybody around him. And so, I'm spitting a whole lot of game for you guys today. It might be going over your head. Um, Hopefully, it's not. If you can take this information and analyze it and apply it to the society and recognize what's going on and understand the insight, this will highly benefit you. But the feminism is just too strong, guys. Um, they got the feminine leaders leading the youth in the wrong direction. This is what this whole Ice Spice situation symbolizes: the matriarchy telling the young women and the young kids what's okay and what's not okay. She's dressing provocatively. She's dressing scantily clad in front of children, which lets you know she doesn't care about the goodness of the children. She cares about her fame, attention, and her little $10,000 she got from attending that uh, whatever premiere for SpongeBob. And it also lets you know too that these media companies, they don't care about what's best for your child. They have a respectable figure up there that you can respect and that you can follow, but they don't care about your average kid either, because they wouldn't have never allowed Ice Spice to even come that close to the kids, let alone dress that way. And so that lets you know that nobody cares about the kids anymore. Nobody cares that your kids are going to become limp wristed and 304. The little girls going to become 304s. Like I was at the football game the other day, and there was these two little girls. This is how you know the future is fucked. It's fucked, and it's truly fucked. So I was at the game because we have this tradition with my friends. We always go to the state championships, high school championships during this day. So as we're exiting, we noticed these two little girls, and they had to be what, maybe 10 to 12 years old, maybe younger, 9 to 10. They're doing TikToks, and they're setting up the TikTok machine. And what are they doing? They're not doing a little joke or a little dance. They're dancing, ass shaking at 10, 11, 12. And so they're mimicking the popular culture, which is not a good culture to follow. And it's getting to the point to where, this is why, guys, by the time she's 20, by the time she's 18 years old, by the time she's 25, she's already gone. She's already fully developed and going in the direction of being a feminist, disobeying men, not respecting men, using men for all that they're worth financially, you know, uh, DUIs for your attention. They're fully engulfed in this stuff by the time they're 20 years old. And so this is the plight of the modern woman today, which is why it's almost impossible for you guys to really ever find a good woman in the West. And plus, the West is such a treacherous path. There's so many, feminism is so prominent and powerful in the West. I was just contemplating this, in my opinion. Um, if you guys deal with these women in any capacity, you're going to get caught up. Shout out to my man Crypto for being in the building. You're going to get caught up. If you go marriage, a lot of you guys, if you deal with these women in any capacity in the West, this is just my opinion, because the feminism is so powerful and prominent that you can't really defend yourself properly. You can't defend yourself. The only way you can defend yourself is to not play the game at all. And that's going to be very hard for you guys, because you're going to always be attracted to women, and you don't want to be a jerk off artist your whole life. And so, I mean, and then some guys, They don't have the capacity to leave the country. So it's going to get crazy, guys. So I'm in my estimation, there's so many different uh, mazes and traps for you in the West that you're going to get caught up with them. And this just is what it is. You shouldn't almost expect it. That you're going to get child support. You're going to get divorced if you get married. And I'm not saying expect the worst. I'm just saying be prepared for the worst. It's a sad reality, but it is what it is. I mean, these are, you encounter enough of these women and you deal with these women long enough, one of them is going to get you. That's just the truth. One of them's going to get you, and there's not really anything to back you to stop this from happening, to stop her and incentivizing her to do what's best in her interest and to help you out. It's not going to happen. Crypto says my GF a 304, but makes me come all the time. Hey, hey, as long as she's doing her job. And that's really that's a sad reality that most women are just, they're just good for bedroom action. But the bedroom action can lead to extraction from the man, and that's the real sinister thing about the society today, is that they're finding different creative ways to extract resources, not only from the average person, but specifically the man when it comes to the interaction between the man and the woman. They're finding creative ways to extract resources and money from men. And they expect men just bow down to this. This is why we have these stories of sugar daddies spazzing out on their sugar babies. This is why you have these different men going through extreme lengths to get these situations fixed, because the men are really, they don't have really any other choice but to go to the extreme measure to do these things. And anybody that has a mind or a brain that's watching this, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You know that this live stream is exactly what you're witnessing, what you're encountering, what you've been thinking about. This is exactly what's going on. And the horrible thing about it that you have to realize is there's not really much that you can do to fix it outside of an organization. But the MRAs aren't going to do it. The MGTOWs are not going to do it. The only way the MGTOW thing works is you have to either go passport bro or not deal with these women, which is not going to be applicable for most men. You need intercourse, and when you don't have intercourse, you become weird. You become weird. You develop these weird habits, these weird thinking patterns, these weird, you know. And so it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Or you become handpicked in a relationship or married. Like there's not really any good positive ways that are promoted in family, in the interaction between the man and the woman, that makes both sides want to play the game extensively for a long period of time. Crypto writes, even Batman knows you live long enough, you become the villain at times. Yeah. And so, you get in a marriage or you have a kid that you didn't want or whatnot, the woman's going to say that, tell the kid that you're the villain, you're the worst person ever. And then the kid's going to grow up and believe that because the mother is the first teacher, the mother is the one that is around them the most. And really, the child needs the woman from ages about 1 to about 0 as an infant to about 10 years old. Then they need specifically all their discipline and sternness and uh, structure from the father after they get double digits. But then they ask the father, and it's completely different stories. It's not the truth, but this is how they paint you as a villain. And then the society is a matriarchal because they're hashtag believe all women. And so, like I said, guys, you're playing a losing game in the West, and there's not really anything to do except to leave, really, to be honest with you, which is not applicable for every guy. I mean, a lot of you guys, you think that you're good enough and smart enough to beat the system. Um, Guys, when you guys get into these intercourse situations with women, they get very clever. You have to understand. I'm going to end this with this. And any guy with wisdom understands this when it comes to women. The thing is, you have to realize with women, and this is what makes them smarter in a lot of ways than most men. The average man. Now, the above average man, they're not smarter than us, but we'll still be victim to this bullshit. And the thing about women that you have to understand, I'm gonna leave you guys with this, and I'm gonna get on with picking up these groceries, and then I'll probably do a live later on tonight. Um, while you guys are having sex, or sex, because YouTube likes to censor stuff. When your ding-a-ling gets hard as a man, that's when you're at the dumbest state in the world. That's when you're the most stupidest person in the world, is whenever your ding-a-ling is hard as a rock. When you're on full salute, when your Johnson is doing the little small mustache dude, when your Johnson is doing that, that's when you're at the stupidest as a man. And you know what the sinister thing is about nature? That's when the woman is thinking. While you're extremely aroused and turned on, while you're extremely aroused and turned on, thinking about, hey, all I'm trying to do is smash this. In that moment, she has the ability to be thinking. While you're smashing, she's thinking. Now, granted, if you hitting that bottom, she not thinking either. But most dudes ain't hitting that bottom. So she's thinking, bruh. She's like, damn, this is Drake. I can, this feels good, but if I could play this correctly, I could get a child and some money out of this. She's thinking this in the middle of him smashing. Ain't that crazy? As a dude, when you smashing, bruh, you're not thinking about nothing except getting that pleasure off or beating them walls in. You ain't thinking about nothing else. And that's why when the condom comes off, you're at her mercy. The only way to outsmart a woman is to keep the condom on, but even then, the condom can break. Crazy. But I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Let me read these comments, and then we're gonna get up out of here. My man Crypto said, feminism is so strong now. It's overbearing. It's extremely strong, bro. And we can't, there's nothing to do to fix it, really, honestly. We got to tear the whole society down. He said, okay, boss, be cool. He said, yo, I loved your video the other day about the girl party and invited three dudes. Them boys stood on business. Bruh, they was beating it up. Hey, my man, one of my dudes, man, he was being aggressive. Even though she was getting turned down, she was turning him down. He was persistent, bro. Persistence overcomes resistance. And it's crazy because the other dude was in there smashing, and the other dude, he was going to smash if he didn't, but he got too drunk. You know what I'm saying? He got that drunk D. They might have smashed that night somewhere else though. Who knows? The story ended at that point, but she probably liked one of them dudes that was smashing. That's what it was. Exactly. You said Nikki got them cheeks clapped. Bro, and I said that during the video too. I was like, bro, like, there's not one woman that I've ever known in history that was named Nikki that was not a 304. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying, bro. I could be wrong, but if your name is Nikki, that's a red flag. But yeah, guys. Anyways, I'll see you guys probably later on tonight. You guys stay tuned for that. I got more videos dropping this week. It's gonna get even more entertaining, even more crazy. It's crazy, guys. We going up from here. Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, Jenny. Jenny, one of the names too. Crypto. Jenny, Nikki. Yeah, bro. Yeah. But anyways, guys, let me get to my get these go pick these groceries up. I appreciate you guys. Check me out later on tonight with the live stream. Peace. Bro, it is funny. It is funny, man.